Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris Ashes to Ashes. So one thing I want to go ahead and mention real quick before we really hop into the part is to mention that between May 21st and June 23rd, I believe it was, is the summer semester at my university, of which I have to at least be a half-time student, otherwise I have to start paying back a loan that I have. Although I am paying back the loan a little bit already anyway, but I would have to start paying it back if I fall below half-time, or basically a part-time student. And so as a result, I just want to mention that one of the classes that I need to take to fulfill hitting that part-time or half-time student criteria has classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because it's summer and it's roughly half the length of a normal full semester. And I believe the class is like 10:30 to noon, something like that, which is basically the time of day that I would typically be trying to do my recordings. And so I just want to mention that basically between May 21st and June 23rd, I may not always be able to record a video for every single one of my series, basically Stellaris, EU4, and depending upon whether or not I restart it again during that time frame, I might hold off on that, Star Trek Online. I think I might just hold that one back until after the summer semester. That way it gets started without any potential interruptions in recordings. But yes, so I just want to let you all know that. And I'll remind you all again a little bit closer to the start, just so that you all know that between May 21st and June 23rd, I may not always be able to record 2 parts of Stellaris and a part of EU4. Although I will prioritize recording Stellaris over EU4 when I have to make a choice, because Stellaris is running on the latest version of Stellaris, while EU4 is running on a older version of EU4. So EU4 doesn't really matter too much if I miss a week, at least in my opinion, for recordings. But for Stellaris, missing a week could result in the series not getting as far along as I would like it to. And so yes, I just want to let you all know that. Just a reminder, that you are all not surprised if come like May 28th there's not a video for all of the, or for Stellaris and or EU4. Just want to make sure that is out there so that you all know beforehand. Now we do have money issues, fairly significant money issues, I might add. And in fact, that reminds me, I was thinking of potentially scrapping one of these battleships. Admittedly, I don't think it would quite do it, but you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and scrap some. Get us a little bit extra time. To try and get research and whatnot done. I can easily go and get those back at a later date if I have the time. And I'm pretty sure this isn't any of my mods that have done this, but for some reason there seems to be a missing model effect being applied when you equip a tachyon lance. Does it happen if I try to equip, say, the particle lance? Yes, it does. So it seems to be an issue with just X-slot weapons as a whole. And again, none of my mods should be doing that because I'm not using any mods that add new weapons or anything like that. So the fact that that's an issue, I'm thinking is something on Stellaris' end. Devs might have fucked with something when they released 2.0.3. That's my guess. I don't actually know, though. We'll find out if I bother researching any other X-slot weapons. And they had the same issue. Yeah, see, there we go. We're only losing 38, so that gives us the time to research better power plants, and should be enough time to get those power plants built up. Did do something, so let's go and lower that. It's a little too loud for my tastes. So 16 months for that. You know what, I'm going to kick the game up to 3 speed. A war between the Ubrok and the Sacrosanct has ended, with the Ubrok gaining 5 systems, or 5 planets, okay, 4 systems. So they got, let's see, this, Suya, or however it's pronounced, and one more that's not going to tell me what the name of it is. Okay. Now the Ubrok are crap, and you guys just got your ass beat, so you're even worse. Now we do have 2 fallen empires, and they're basically both on my borders. I mean, technically these guys aren't right on my borders, but you know what, they're not too far away from a wormhole that leads directly into my territory. So as far as I'm concerned, they are basically right on my border. Simplest way to describe it. And those seem, I think those are the only 2 that we have, right, game? Yeah, there's only 2, at least that I know of. In theory, there might be some others, but we're just gonna go and assume there are no other ones out there.
Construction complete.
And you know what? I don't think I need you guys to build me all those extra power plants anymore, since I've somewhat dealt with the issue by scrapping the battleships in the Second Fleet.
Construction complete.
You know, game, I don't know why you're lagging a little right now, or having these delays after a notification is supposed to pop up. Let's do that to block off this system. Not that it matters, because they don't have a fleet here, sadly. Okay. And yeah, there's nothing I can really build here. I could build a black site, but there's not really a reason to do it, because it's a system modifier, not an empire modifier. And as phonetic purifiers, you don't really have unrest issues. And I don't have any governing ethics attraction, because you're basically either us and potentially militarist, or you're not. In which case, you're probably getting purged anyway, because you're probably a alien species. So, you know, it really doesn't matter. Now, apparently, some of these guys that are inferior are being shown as above me, which would seem to indicate that they're slightly better in naval capacity and tech, is my best guess. At least enough so to have that to be a thing. Oh yes, and I was planning to make my way to this system, Cybrix Alpha. Admittedly, I can't do anything with it, because it turns out you need a megastructure engineering, or whatever the name of the tech is, to be able to do that. Which I don't know what the prerequisites are now for it. Because it used to be, you needed the ability to build fortresses, or whatever they were called, whatever the top tier defensive structure was in pre 2.0. But in 2.0, you don't have what is it, defense stations and fortresses anymore. You've only got defense platforms, unless you're using a mod that adds back in the larger tier structures, because presumably the code probably still exists for them in the game files. They're just not being utilized anymore, is my best guess. But yeah, so that is something that does exist, technically speaking. I'm not using any of those mods though, so yeah.
Construction complete.
Go. And I mean, I'm not going to be doing any colonizing. I don't have any issues with governing ethics attraction. I don't need the better boosters right now, right game? I don't think any of my ships are using boosters. Nope, none of my ships are using boosters. So I'm gonna say, oh, that's a long ass time, so never mind. I was gonna say let's get the energy weapon attack speed bonus, but that's gonna take forever. So you know, we'll just research some ion disruptors. Out of curiosity, actually, I never really looked. What do we have for living standard options? Oh, we can go up to social welfare. However, anything that is basically not academic privilege results in egalitarian attraction, which admittedly doesn't really matter. We're not authoritarian in the first place, but it is something we would have to deal with. Because we would have egalitarian pops that would then complain about us going around and doing non-egalitarian things like purging people. Because apparently some people have issues with you going around purging everything that's not you. So yes, that is something we would have to deal with. Why are you allowed to go through my borders? By default, my borders should automatically be closed to you no matter what. Apparently that's not the case. Okay, but building those should help to deal with our power issue, at least a little bit. I'll probably still lose power when the fleets are out, but that's when the fleets are out. I can deal with losing power while the fleets are out. Not so much when they're both sitting at home, vacationing. That's not really a time when I can deal with that. If you're passing through my systems, I might just have to attack you if you become hostile. The Ulton have become xenophobe, I'm guessing. Yep. So now egalitarian spiritualist xenophobes, they are becoming a mini us. I believe I said that before, but they're definitely becoming a mini us now. Now, I do want to deal with these Ravagers, to be completely honest. Because I don't want to have to expand my borders and then have them... What the fuck? Seriously? Okay, well I don't know where that wormhole is, but presumably it connects to one of these two wormholes within your empire. And I'm going to assume this one, because I think you've owned this one for a while now, but this one I think is fairly new. So if I had to make a guess, you getting access to this wormhole results in you deciding to go to the other side of the galaxy now. Which is my side, and I'm not a fan of you going to my side. But as I was saying, if I leave these Ravagers alone, as I expand my borders, I'm going to have to nonetheless keep this area fortified. Because they're going to decide, hey, let's go and attack the Committee of Karen Benong, or however we pronounce our name. And so, that could be an issue. So I kind of have to make sure that these guys get dealt with at some point. And I think that point will probably be once I can have the second fleet fully staffed. At least if I had to make a guess. Oh, we saw some Kelazon apparently within our empire.
Construction complete.
Didn't realize that. I thought we would have annihilated them all by now, but apparently there's still 6 of them alive. Let's go ahead and at least take over the system of Cybrix Alpha. Admittedly, as a Fanatic Purifier, if anybody hops over there and snags that during a war, they get to take it. So, you know, I should probably fortify it, at least to a degree.
Construction complete.
Even if it's fairly minor.
We have
Just so
mastered
that
a new technology.
they can't just snag... Ooh, I can already get jump drives. Ooh, game, you have me really... I mean, the whole... You lose a bunch of stuff if you... Does it already have the button for it? Yeah. You get minus 50% weapons damage and sublight speed for 200 days. You know, that's kind of bad. So, I mean, I'd probably only really use it to get across my empire when I'm trying to prepare for a war, so the fleet's not sitting around doing nothing, or isn't spending so much time in travel. But yeah, I don't think I would ever really use a jump drive during a war. Unless, again, I'm trying to traverse my empire quickly, because... those bonuses really would hurt if you get into a battle. They really could hurt. Now, because we have psionics, we could get psi jump drives. I was about to say sump drives, I don't know why. Which is certainly, I think, better overall. Assuming psi jump drives still exist. I think they do. But I don't know if you need normal jump drives to get psionic jump drives. I think you do. I've never really played with psionics, so I don't actually know. What are these guys, out of curiosity? You are Enigmatic Observer, so you hate purging pops. And you're Engine Caretaker, so you don't give a shit. So we don't have any Keepers of Knowledge, so that's a dangerous tech. Screw it, we'll go for it. The worst that could happen is that we open a rift in space-time and let some people from some other alternate dimension decide that they want to fuck shit up on our end. But, you know, that's the worst that could happen. Yeah, there's really... I don't think there's much point going to a Citadel unless you're just looking for extra defensive platforms.
Construction complete.
I think that's the only reason why you would ever bother going to a Citadel. At least that's my guess. Yeah, Mega Engineering. Which we won't be getting for a while.
We have mastered a new technology.
Neutronium armor, and yeah, I think... I'm going to assume you probably need Citadels to... or the Citadel tech to be able to get Mega Engineering. Again, I don't know. I haven't played enough of Stellaris 2.0, really.
Construction complete.
I mean, I guess I can try and check that out on the wiki if it includes that info while we wait for time to pass by. Mega structures. Why the hell do they not include links to the Mega Engineering tech?
Construction complete.
Thank you, game. Thank you, that's useful. Technically we're still losing some money, but we still have some buildings to upgrade back. Oh, god damn it, I closed the tab on accident. Oh, god damn it, closed the window now on accident. Let's try this again. Technology. Engineering research. Mega Engineering, yes, requires battleships, citadels, and 0-point power. We have all of those except citadels, at least according to the wiki. Those are what's required. So yeah, we got 0 point here. We have battleships, clearly, because we have battleships in the first fleet. So 86 months for citadels, and then however long it takes for the game to decide to give me mega engineering, and then I can build up Cybrix Alpha and colonize it and turn into whatever the hell I want. I don't know what, though. We'll figure that out at a later date. Yeah, you still got one more building to upgrade to tier 5. So we got some time there. Are there any energy-rich systems in our area? Not that I can clearly see. Well, there's a 7 there, but that's not really that rich, if I'm gonna be completely honest. And there's a 6 there, again, not really that rich. But on the other side of that wormhole. 5, some living metal. But yeah, not exactly much that I care about there. Well, I know you dealt with the pirate station there because obviously you're expanding outwards, and so you would have had to have dealt with the pirates there. Oh yes, I should probably go and slap the better armor onto our ships now. That does, for whatever reason, have a slight increase in mineral maintenance, or energy maintenance cost, apparently. Which makes absolutely 0 sense in my opinion. Why do you not have everything you're supposed to have, game? Did they add an extra slot or something, or what? Because there's no reason for you not to have been utilizing all of those. Yeah, you know, I'm not sure what the new current best is when it comes to the amount of armor you should equip your ships with. Because I know before when it was a damage reduction thing, you only wanted enough to decrease, or I think it was like 80% was what you were shooting for. You'd want to get as close to that as possible and then just fill up the rest of the slots with shields and then replace any of those shields that you need to with reactors. But now that armor is its own health bar, I'm not sure what is the best now in that regard. For all I know, it might be an even amount of shields and armor, and it might be like a 2-to-1 ratio of shields to armor, so 2 shields for each armor. I don't know. That's something I'll never really know because I don't really care to go and try and find out. Give me 1 second.
Our ships have been upgraded. Our ships have been upgraded.
I had to go turn on a light because a cloud has now decided to go and block what little bit of sunlight there was getting into the room that I'm in.
Construction complete.
Okay, you guys are going to take a while to upgrade, clearly. Still what you recommend, apparently.
Our ships have been upgraded.
And then the first fleet is almost done.
Our ships have been upgraded.
So 32.9k, it didn't change. At least not enough here. It probably did change a little bit though. But we can't afford to build up our fleet without losing power again. You're inferior. You're still equivalent. Now what I would love to see is the Kraxros Union or whatever. Maybe become buddy-buddy with the Star Realm and then hopefully provoke a war. Or a war declaration from either the Omni Hub or the Citizen League. Either one doesn't really matter to me. Because that would basically ruin both of these empires because they'd be forced to fight one another. Which is great for me. Not so great for them because it opens them up to conquest. Yeah. But I think it's time that I'm gonna have to bring the fleets out. And we're just gonna have to go for a war to get the energy resources that we need. Because there's really nothing else we can do. You guys have a Colossus, not a big fan of that. What does it use? Oh, neutron sweep. That's the one I think that kills just the pops and leaves the buildings and whatnot alone. Although I don't know if it kills robots. All I know is it, at the very least, it'll definitely kill organics. I don't know if it'll kill bots. I guess that's something we would have to find out at a later date. We are producing a shit ton of food. Holy crap. Why are we producing so much food? Are you guys mining all, or not mining, you don't mine food. I think you guys might be farming a lot. Yeah, you got, holy shit, 47 food here. That's what happens when you tell them to respect tile resources. The AI loves food when set to respect tile resources because it will build those things up like there is no tomorrow. Because for whatever reason, I think it still thinks it needs to have the planet to be self-sufficient. That's just my best guess. Because, yeah, this planet itself produces 18. So I honestly think the AI thinks it needs the planets to be self-sufficient. And so it tries to make them self-sufficient when it comes to food. Now game, you don't need the strongholds anymore. I just want to note that that's a 1.8 upkeep per that you could stand to lose. Wow, you guys are getting here a little fast. Normally you guys take forever, but then again, we do have better reactors or hyperdrives and thrusters now, so that's probably part of the reason it's not taking as long. I do like my living metal though. And this will be helpful. I think just this tech alone will basically deal with our money issue because it'll almost it'll almost deal with the being over naval capacity, as a result increasing maintenance costs by 15%. That 15% means a lot when they up the maintenance costs like they did with Stellaris 2.0. 15% in the past was nothing. But 15% now is actually something. Now where's our army exactly? Okay, they're stationed in the Duick system with the first fleet. I'm fine with that. we're gonna wait until this tech is done before we go to war. I think I'll let this part just run until we research the bonus naval capacity. Now I don't know what the ratio is of, or how many pops you need to get an extra star base. I only have 4 from pops, and I've got 184 people within my empire. So I mean, I could pull up a calculator. So that comes out to exactly 46. Presumably it's not 46 pops per star base, because that doesn't quite, that's not quite a good number. It's probably like 40 pops per, if I had to make a guess. But I could be wrong. I honestly do not know. We have actually a decent amount of living metal at 2. Do we know of anybody else that has living metal? Just so I know. Do you guys have any living metal? Because that does kind of increase your fleet's ability to wage war, at least a little bit, because it gives them power or repair when they're out in the field. From a quick glance, I want to say no. Nobody else has access to living metal. At least for the normal empires that I can see. Again, just a quick glance. I'm not really looking too detailed. I'm basically just looking for the symbol. Okay. The Omni Hub has a little bit. Whether or not they can actually use living metal is a different story. I don't know. I can see it. I can see they're mining it. But for all I know, they don't know how to utilize it yet. Oh. Ah, yes, we also have the plus 33% from being fanatic purifiers. I forgot to take that into account when our extra 30 that we got. So we ended up actually getting a little bit more than just 30. We'll be fine without the bonus naval capacity right this second. So let's just say, get me the alien zoo, I think. So yeah, if nobody else besides the Omni Hub is able to use living metal, that's beneficial to me. I'm not quite sure what I'll decide. We'll just take whatever the hell we get really, actually. I will try to kill your fleet though, like the first thing I do. But that is going to be it for this part. Next part, we'll be declaring war on the Obrak regime to take whatever the hell we can take before we end up deciding to status quo out. But I think the second fleet's probably going to work its way from over here in the Avalam system, sort of towards the center. The second fleet, or the first fleet rather, which actually, I'm going to go ahead and tell these fleets to move into position. You know what, you guys really don't have to be within my borders. In hindsight, so you know what, just get out there as far as you can. Where's their capital? Okay, Vuzabaru. Which is in a crappy position because it's technically open to attack from the Kelazon and the Sacrosanct Euthonian Mandate because of this little back highway that they have there, essentially. But let me go ahead and save, despite the fact that I'm recording the next part immediately after. I just do it because it helps me keep track of part numbers. So I will see you all in the next part, where, like I said, we'll be declaring one of the Obrak. But until then, goodbye and farewell.